Welcome back to Driven Daily. We're now into week 5 and the chassis fabrication is really starting to take shape now. We have some A-pillars in the car, we have the main hoop tack welded into the car, and we're starting to level everything and make sure it's all straight.
I'm removing that because it's in the way of the seat, because some of us are a bit shorter than others. We need to have the seat in this place to drive kind of like that, and this is in the way. So we welded another one in the front to keep the chassis or the body from going woo, and this one has to go.
With the reinforcements out of the way and a few 2x4s to space it up, we could put the seat in and see how it looked. If the seating position were too high, we wouldn't have enough space for the roof bars and padding. Too low and the driver can't see over the dashboard. Too far forward, the driver wouldn't be able to get in and out. Too far outboard, the door wouldn't be able to close. It all looked good, so we continued on. I still have a little bit of cleanup to do on the A-pillars that I had finished. The driver's side is pretty good. It's fitted really, really nicely. The passenger side is fitted really nicely, but it's a little bit further forward than the driver's side. It's about half an inch, maybe an inch of difference. But that's enough that it'll throw off the windshield bar and the dash bar. So before I get started on those two transverse reinforcements, I need to make a couple of small modifications and tack weld the A-pillar back in. I trimmed down the A-pillar and cleaned up the mounting points on the main hoop, and it was ready to be tack welded into place. To keep it aligned to the body, I tacked both the front and rear intersection points. Next up is the dash bar. I coped the dash bar that I had already bent to fit between the two A-pillars. Mike noticed that there was a bit of a problem.
That's the wrong coping. It should go this way. Yeah, it's perfect for that, except it kind of goes this way. I have to bend some tube again. Or we can just do a straight line.
For version 2 of the dash bar, we just used a straight piece of 1.5 inch 060 tubing instead of the 1 3/4 inch 120 wall tubing. That saves roughly half the weight, and because the Mount Washington rules don't require a dash bar at all, this is a good place for us to decrease our overall weight. Going with a straight bar makes it a lot easier to fit up because you don't have as many complexities in the bend. We already have enough variables here, even with a straight tube.
The problem we have is that we're in a bend, but also we're getting closer. So the coping has to be more on top, but also diagonal. To get it level, we're measuring with this bar that is kind of level with the car. And we're measuring on this. Make sure that both are parallel. Parallel.
Finally, we moved on to the windshield bar. This is required by the rules, so we just decided to go hog wild and grabbed the failed 1 3/4 inch dash bar to see if we could reuse that stock. It took a little work, but our initial fitment looked pretty good. Mike got started on the fine-tuning of the coping and making sure that it was centered and aligned to the body. We received a lot more burns in these 2 weeks than we did throughout the entire series. And really, it just goes to show that these types of mechanics gloves are really good for assembly and disassembly, but they fall short when you're trying to do any kind of fabrication. They just don't provide enough heat resistance. While the windshield bar is not finished, it's very close. Join us next week when we put it into the car. Thanks for watching.